Okay, so I finally watched Voltron Legendary Defender after so many guys begged and pleaded, saying, "Oh, you gotta watch Voltron Legendary Defender. You gotta watch Voltron Legendary Defender." I was like, "Guys, I don't have time for that." Well, turns out I had time for it, and I sat down and watched it. You know what? It's really fucking good. Like, here's the thing. The big thing with a lot of Netflix original animated shows, and not live action, of course, there's a lot of really good live action stuff, animation-wise, it's usually for really young kids, and it's not really, a lot of their shows, like the Kong show, nothing's really appealed to me animation-wise for Netflix. And when this came out, I had my reservations, but I was like, oh, the guys behind Avatar and Legend of Korra are behind this, okay. Well, some of the staff, not Mike and Brian, of course, but I digress. So I sat down and watched it after seeing so much hype for it and so much love for it, and I sat down and watched it, I was like, wow, this is pretty good. And I'm really excited for Season 2 now. This is a really good show of what you can do with so many shows being rebooted now, and not a lot of them being good. This is how you take a show, especially an action show, from like the 80s or some other time period, and you revamp it, and you take what was good with it, and you accentuate what made it so good, but you add in a new element that just adds on to it. That's how you do a revamp or a revival of a show. You hear me, Powerpuff Girls? Yeah. And every other show that has followed since? Anyway, well, there are some good revivals, but this has probably been, like, in the later years that we've had revivals. We haven't had the best. But yeah, this is definitely up there as one of the best of this time, of this generation. And it's not like, Voltron's had his share of revamps before. There have been several. But this, I find, is probably a really good one. I was kind of off-put by some of the CG and 2D animation, of course, with the CG Voltron and the CG Lions. But yeah, I got through that really quick. Because, seriously, the 2D animation's really beautiful, and I think the 3D animation's a little jarring because I'm not the biggest fan of mixing 2D with 3D, but I got over it real quick, and eventually got to the point where I was like, oh, that's kind of seamless, really. And seriously, the characters in here are so great, especially Hunk. I like everything, like, every quote Hunk has is just great, like, one of the opening scenes of the show is, like, when Shiro gives off this speech, and everyone just nods in comparison, and Hunk goes, "I'm nodding. Is everyone else nodding?" I was like, I'm gonna like you. Lance is also really good, and yes, I'm well aware of the Keith Lance shipping, the whole Clance shipping, and yeah, like seriously, their rivalry literally goes to the point where I was like, oh, just already. Not that I ship it, mind you, but I just find it I can see why people do that. Anyway, the stuff with Shiro, who was originally known as Sven in the original show, Shiro is also a great character. They're doing a lot of stuff with him, they're almost making him like Winter Soldier, and I'm not talking just about the metal arm. The whole, his whole memories are lost, and he might be reprogrammed by Zarkon. That's a really cool element, and really dealing with an animated way of dealing with PTSD, I feel like, is a really cool angle. And they've done this before with Korra as well as Aang and Zuko in Avatar and, of course, Legend of Korra, and how they've dealt with real-world mental issues and how that affects a person through animation and kind of adding new elements to it while still keeping that character true. That's how I feel like they've done with Shiro and PTSD, really. So I really like that. Alora's a really cool character. The guy with the mustache, Callan, I think his name is Callan. I could do without him. He does have some funny lines, but literally he is a Monty Python character. No, really. Seriously, the dude's a Monty Python, he belongs in a Monty Python sketch and should stay there. The mice, I don't care about either, but I guess you need for Avatar shows, you need an animal sidekick, whatever. Keith's a really fun character. They make fun of, he's kind of he's the, the rogue and the one who doesn't play by the rules, and they really make fun of it. What they did with Pidge in the show, of making him a girl in this new show, I was kind of I don't know how that's gonna go, but then I thought about it and was and thought about it. I'm sorry for getting tongue-tied there. But yeah, I thought about it, and I literally said to myself, you know what, if Starbuck can be a female in Battlestar Galactica revamp and work really well, then yeah, why can't it work here? And trust me, it does, especially of how they tie in Shiro's backstory with her. I thought it was a cool element, and she also gets some really good lines in here. Like, seriously, there's some great humor in here. And I feel like since it's not, even though it's still technically a kid show, and it does have to play by kid rules, there is this kind of level of grittiness and darkness to it that, since it's a Netflix show, it doesn't need to be held back as much. So I feel like, especially in Season 2, we're going to see more of that kind of those dark elements in here. And dude, Zarkon. Oh my god. Now, if you've seen the 80s show, and if you remember Zarkon, he was just like, oh, those pesky Voltron guys, send another Robeast. They beat the Robeast, I'll get him next time. That's kind of what Zarkon was. In here, dude, Zarkon is a beast. If you haven't seen the show, I don't want to spoil what Zarkon does at the end, but seriously, damn. Same with Hagar. Hagar is voiced by Cree Summer. There's a lot of familiar voice actors in here. Kimberly Brooks, who most of you know best as the voice actress for Jasper, she plays Allura. Yeah, let that wrap around your mind for a second, if you didn't know that. You got Stephen Yeun as Keith. You've got Josh Keaton as Shiro, who does a phenomenal job. I think he's great in this role. There's a lot of great voice actors and voice actresses in here. But going back to Hagar, I love how they're kind of making this kind of like dark side of the Force thing with her, and how they've redone the Robeasts is really cool. How they've revamped the Robeasts and made them pretty badass is kind of cool. Again, I don't want to spoil a lot for this show, because I know there's a lot of people who haven't seen it yet, but I am very much on board with this show. I am so excited for this. For season 2. And I had, when I first saw the first trailer for the show, I was like, alright, doesn't look like much. I mean, it's cool that they have Avatar behind it, but what can they do? And then I finally sat down and watched it and went, I should have shut up and just watched. Yeah, because this is great. The humor is on point. Like, seriously, every time, like, Hunk, especially Hunk or Lance, whenever they say something, it's hilarious. When those two say something, it's hilarious. Callan, like, some of the stuff he says is funny, but at the same time, like I said, I was like, just go away, Mustache Man. Go away. I didn't need you. Anyway, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I like how this. Now, I will say, going real quick, if you're watching at all Carlotta Studios, if you need like a Stormhawks fix, give Voltron Legendary Defender a shot, because this feels so much like Stormhawks. Like, seriously, the entire Voltron group feels straight out of Stormhawks. Pidge feels a lot like Piper. Shiro is a lot like Arrow. Hunk is a lot like Junko. Lance is a lot like Finn, to the point where it's scary. I guess Keith is a lot like Starling, but that's another thing. But yeah, if you love shows like Stormhawks and all these other great action shows, and if you're a fan of the original, I'd say, hell yeah, give this a shot. This has some great action in it. Just great storytelling behind it. This new universe, this new Voltron universe is really cool. I'm really interested to see how they're going to expand on it, and I feel bad that I didn't sit down and watch this sooner, because, oh my god, what was I missing? Anyway, so there you go, guys. I'll try my best to get a, like, Season 2 review, when it comes out. I'll try to get a soon, like, Season 2 review whenever that comes out. I think it's supposed to come out later this month, or spring this year. I can't remember. If anyone knows the exact date, just comment below, let me know. But yeah, in the meantime, if you've seen Voltron Legendary Defender, just comment below, let me know what you guys thought of it. Did you guys like it? Did you guys hate it? Just, yeah, once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I'm out.